Bray Wyatt attacks fans. Triple H's plan for absent WWE superstar. Naomi shares rare unmasked image. WWE star suffers gruesome bloody injury during WWE live event. Bray Wyatt shares a cryptic update. Let's jump right into our first story. Triple H's plan for absent WWE superstar. There has been a rumored update on WWE's plans for the absent Kevin Owens under Triple H's leadership. Owens has been out of WWE programming since he was sidelined with a potential injury ahead of Money in the Bank. At the time, he was in a feud with Ezekiel and was slated to clash with him on Raw. Since then, Triple H has taken over as the head of creative in WWE, with Vince McMahon retiring. However, even with the game assuming the role, Owens remains absent from the company's programming, with speculations brewing among fans. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful has now emerged with the latest news on the matter. According to the outlet, the prizefighter is not injured and is simply biding his time as new storylines are being cooked up for him by WWE's creative team. While it is being reported that management has plans for the former Universal Champion, only time will tell when they will materialize on the screen. It has been noted that several stars on NXT and certain main roster stars like T-Bar could be receiving major character changes under Triple H. Released talent Dakota Kai was brought back to WWE TV, and former NXT Women's Champion Io Sky was called up to the main roster at the recent SummerSlam event. It was also reported that former NXT Champion Ciampa would be put into matches and feuds that better showcase his abilities. Another former NXT Champion, Karrion Kross, and his manager Scarlett were brought back to the company on last week's SmackDown. Upon their return, they promptly inserted themselves into the main event storyline between Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns. It will be interesting to see what further changes Triple H makes to the company's creative direction. Are you enjoying the new era of WWE so far? Sound off in the comments below. Naomi shares a rare unmasked image. Naomi has had an incredibly busy weekend at C2E2 in Chicago so far. The former WWE superstar was at the Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo this weekend alongside her former tag team partner Sasha Banks. This was her first public appearance since she and Banks famously walked out of WWE Raw earlier this year. But C2E2 wasn't the only thing that got social media buzzing, as Naomi also posted a selfie on Twitter this afternoon alongside former WWE superstar Kalisto. What makes this a big deal is that the photo shows Kalisto without his mask, which is definitely a rarity in this day and age. My Lucha gloat kissy face emoji, Naomi said in the now-deleted tweet. Ahead of C2E2 this weekend, there were plenty of reports and rumors circulating online which indicate that both Naomi and Sasha Banks have worked out an agreement to return to WWE under the new creative regime of Triple H Friday night on SmackDown. It was announced that a tournament to crown the brand new WWE Women's World Tag Team Champions will start this Monday on Raw. Before Vince McMahon retired from the company, there were seemingly no plans to do anything with these titles. But with Triple H back at the helm, things have changed in a hurry. With Dakota Kai, Karrion Kross, and Scarlett all returning to the company in the past week, one has to wonder if the Boss and Glow connection aren't too far behind. Who will be the next WWE superstar to return under Triple H's new vision for the company? We'll find out soon enough. What are your thoughts on seeing Kalisto without his mask? Do you think Naomi and Sasha Banks are on their way back to WWE? Let us know your thoughts by sounding off in the comments section below. WWE star suffers a gruesome bloody injury during WWE live event. NXT superstar Tatum Paxley suffered a gruesome injury at a recent WWE live event. Paxley was signed to the McMahon-run Empire in 2021 and has featured as part of NXT 2.0's revamped women's division. Additionally, she has been aligned with the Diamond Mine faction, and some sources even note her as a member. She teamed alongside Diamond Mine's Ivy Nile in the 2022 Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. At a recent NXT live event in North Charleston, South Carolina, Tatum Paxley had a match with Sloane Jacob. The contest was cut short due to a bloody injury sustained by Paxley. Several Twitter users noted that an incident involving the NXT superstar's nose had occurred, with one user, at Jeff Reed UP, catching a shot of her being treated. It has not yet been confirmed by either Paxley or WWE if the star will need to take time off due to the knock. She did respond to concerned fans on Twitter, letting them know that she was okay. Prior to the injury, Paxley had been busy plying her craft in WWE's developmental brand. Paxley's last TV match came as part of a four-way women's tag team match, alongside Ivy Nile. Katana Chance and Kaden Carter won the match and were crowned the new NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. Paxley last appeared on NXT as part of a women's battle royal to determine the #1 contender for Mandy Rose's NXT Women's title. The match was eventually won by the returning Zoe Stark. Hopefully, Tatum Paxley's injury will take minimal recovery time, and she won't have to take much time off WWE TV. Bray Wyatt shares cryptic update. Former WWE superstar Bray Wyatt recently shared an interesting update on his Twitter account which appeared to detail his love of the wrestling business. The lengthy post explains why Wyatt believes that wrestling isn't a love story. He notes how much it is an escape for him, and the reasons why he fell in love with it. Here is the extract in full. Wrestling is not a love story, it's a fairy tale for masochists. A comedy for people who criticize punchlines. A fantasy most can't understand, a spectacle no one can deny. Lines are blurred, heroes are villains, budgets are cut, business is business. But it can also be a land where dead men walk, where honor makes you elite, where demons run for office, and rock bottom is a reason to rejoice. It's an escape, a reason to point the blame at anyone but yourself for 2 to 3 hours, an excuse to be a kid again, and nothing matters except the moment we are in. Wrestling is not a love story, it's much more. It's hope, and in a world surrounded in hate, greed and violence, a world where closure may never come. We all know a place that is hot and cold, hope on tap, for better or for worse. The Eater of Worlds didn't give the update a caption but appears to be once again bearing his soul for those who follow him and wait for his next chapter more than a year after his release. Wyatt was released from the company back in July 2021 and hasn't stepped into a wrestling ring since. Bray Wyatt was one of WWE's most popular stars, and his release from the company came as a huge shock to his fanbase. Wyatt isn't currently under contract with any other promotion, which means that many fans are still holding out hope that he could make his return. With Triple H recently taking over the reins following Vince McMahon's retirement, there has been a huge shuffle both on and off screen, and that could now lead to many stars making their return. The recent creepy vignettes that were airing on Raw following Money in the Bank were believed to be linked to Bray Wyatt, but it turned out that these were instead being built towards Edge's return to the company, which came at SummerSlam 2022. Wyatt recently announced his engagement to former star JoJo Offerman and has been working on a movie since his release. This latest update seems to reveal that despite his absence, Wyatt still has a love for the business that he is unable to push to one side. Will Bray Wyatt return to WWE, or will he join any other promotion? Sounds off in the comments section below. Bray Wyatt attacks fans. Former WWE superstar Bray Wyatt recently slammed a couple of fans for criticizing his latest cryptic. Wyatt was released from WWE approximately 1 year ago, on July 31, 2021. He hasn't stepped foot in the ring ever since, but occasionally shares cryptic tweets via his official Twitter account. In his latest tweet, Wyatt opened up about wrestling being a fairy tale for masochists. The former Universal Champion's cryptic message didn't sit well with a bunch of fans, who criticized him for the same. He wasn't having it, though, and decided to clap back at them. One fan stated that Wyatt's tweet isn't as cryptic and interesting as he thinks it is. Here's what the former WWE champion wrote in his response: "Nor is it meant to be. Just a feeling I wrote down. It's not my fault. Every time I say something, everyone grades me like a middle school English teacher. See the forest for trees, man." The Eater of Worlds was reportedly a major merch mover during his run in WWE and was rewarded with a WWE title reign, which he won at Elimination Chamber in 2017. Unfortunately, the reign didn't last long as he lost it to Randy Orton at WrestleMania 33 just 49 days later. Bray Wyatt feuded with WWE's top superstars during his stint in the company, most notably against John Cena, The Undertaker, Daniel Bryan, and Roman Reigns. The last time Wyatt held a top title was at WWE Payback 2020, where he defended the Universal title against Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman. The Fiend lost the title when Reigns pinned Strowman. Wyatt has previously hinted that he is not done with pro wrestling. It remains to be seen whether the former world champion will make his way back to WWE anytime in the near future. Are you excited for a possible Bray Wyatt return? What do you make of his recent cryptic tweets?
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed 'em.